We put too much pressure on Tyler Perry. You know what I mean? He ain't put nobody on. The people that been in his productions, they not famous. All of them can walk through the mall without security. Be what you gonna be, but put your people on. If you a gay person and you in there, put some other gay people on. Put somebody on. Or don't be wondering why people keep saying gatekeepers. Because clearly, y'all are keeping these gates. Clearly.
Behind the glitz and glam, there's a whole other side nobody talks about. Filming Meet the Browns wasn't just challenging, it was pure chaos. The pressure was so insane, I nearly broke. Nobody warned me that Tyler Perry Studios ran things on such a brutal schedule. On a regular network show, you get a full week to shoot one episode. But here, it was non-stop madness. Tyler Perry built a whole empire off Medea, flipping wigs and cracking jokes. But don't get it twisted. He's now sitting at the top with one of the biggest film studios in the business. From sleeping in his car to cashing billionaire checks, his grind is legendary. But behind that glow up, there's a lot of noise. And it ain't all praise. Comedian Katt Williams has been pulling the curtain back for years, and he's not alone anymore. According to him, some powerful people in Hollywood only let certain black actors shine if they agree to take roles that mess with their image or strip away their masculinity. And who's always at the center of that shady conversation? Tyler Perry.
Here's a story time about how filming Meet the Browns was the most stressful and hardest thing that I've ever done in my entire life. I had no idea that Tyler Perry Studios' schedule was so drastic. If you're working on a regular network show, they take a whole week to film an episode. Tyler Perry Studios, they film an episode in one day. The character was Jeffrey, a fat high school teenager who was very intellectual, who was getting bullied at school. I take 2 to 3 days to learn the entire script. On the day of filming, first thing we do is a table read. I know all of my lines, I'm ready to go. So the director, who is Alfonso Ribeiro Carlton in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, he starts to block us, telling the actors where to go, where to stand. Mr. Perry comes in, everything changes. So we literally run the entire episode for him, and he hates it. Does that mean I have to learn a whole new script? Yes, that's what it means. Mr. Perry, on the spot, starts rewriting the entire script, and he's feeding me the lines to say, and the director is kind of standing on the side like, you better do it, because if not, they will fire you. Here is where the shoe hit the fan. So in the middle of Mr. Perry changing up the scenes, he says, you know, I want Jeffrey to be gay, and he has a crush on his bully. That's not what I auditioned for.
Now don't get it twisted. Katt made it clear he doesn't hate the guy. In fact, he even shouted Tyler out for hustling hard. But then he dropped a bomb. Katt called him a drag queen and went further, claiming Tyler allegedly surrounds himself with younger men behind closed doors for his own secret reasons. And Katt wasn't playing. He said it straight up. No jokes, no filters. According to him, the roles Tyler gives out don't just depend on talent. There's something extra going on, something unspoken. Katt's claiming that behind the scenes, there's a whole casting game happening, and it's not just about reading lines. And guess what? The whispers are getting louder. More actors, some who've worked directly with Tyler, are starting to speak up too. They're sharing stories of their own, and they're wild. Actor and voice coach Brandon J blew up online after dropping a video that had the whole internet buzzing. He spilled some serious tea about his time working with Tyler Perry, and people couldn't stop talking. Brandon said he originally got cast in Meet the Browns as a regular high school student named Jeffrey. But out of nowhere, Tyler swooped in and flipped the whole storyline. Brandon claims Tyler made a last-minute switch, turning Jeffrey into a gay teen who had a crush on the school bully. And that wasn't what he signed up for, not even close. According to Brandon, this wasn't just some creative rewrite. He believes Tyler has a pattern of doing this, changing roles at the last second, especially when it comes to young male actors he allegedly has a personal interest in. And it's not just Brandon raising eyebrows anymore. Actor Derek Dixon just came forward with a lawsuit that's turning heads.
I'm glad you're here. Everybody wants to know, why'd you walk away from $50 million?
I wasn't walking away from the money. I was walking away from the circumstances with the newfound plateau.
Yeah.
It was completely outside of my frame of reference. I've been in show business since I was 14. I've heard the stories, seen these kinds of things play out in front of me. I mean, you see it before. Look, Mariah Carey made a $100 million deal, and 3 months later, she's all of a sudden mysteriously crazy. Or Martin Lawrence punches through and he's waving a gun on the street screaming, "They're trying to kill me."
Yeah, we hear those stories.
And it always happens around the time in their career where it seems as though they're crossing over the next plateau.
Yeah.
It's incredibly stressful.
Yeah.
He played Dale on The Oval, and now he's suing Tyler for a jaw-dropping $260 million, and he brought receipts. Court docs filled with texts, dates, and places all point to one explosive claim. Derek says Tyler allegedly made a move on him. It all traces back to 2019 when Tyler reportedly spotted Derek in a crowd during an event and personally asked for his number, saying he might have a role for him. Not long after, Derek landed a part in Tyler's show Ruthless. Everything seemed chill until things took a strange turn. Derek says in January 2020, Tyler invited him to his mansion in Atlanta. Derek went, thinking it was just a chance to connect, maybe even get closer to bigger opportunities. But according to his claims, the vibe got weird real quick. He says he had a little too much to drink and crashed in the guest room, and that's when he alleges Tyler came in and started touching him, thighs. That's where Derek says Tyler allegedly touched him, and he shut it down right there. But according to Derek, that wasn't the end of it. The pressure kept coming. Soon after, he was cast as Dale in The Oval, playing a homeless gay man who works at a convenience store and ends up sleeping around just to survive. That storyline raised a lot of eyebrows, and now with Derek's lawsuit, folks are starting to connect the dots. But hold up, it gets even messier. Derek says that role wasn't just acting. He claims Tyler straight up told him he was looking for a real-life partner who fit that exact character type. Someone loyal, desperate, and totally dependent. That's the kind of man Tyler allegedly wanted, not just for the screen, but behind closed doors too. And the receipts? Whew, they're wild. Derek says Tyler started sending bold, suggestive texts, asking him personal stuff, bringing up his preferences, and allegedly even admitting that he sleeps with men. Tyler has never publicly spoken about his sexuality, but Derek claims these private messages left nothing to the imagination.
He's got the whole world in his hands. Got the whole world in his hands. Hey, I'm just sitting here on my porch just looking. What am I looking at? I'm looking to the hills from whence cometh my help. For my help? Some of y'all know the rest. I just wanted to come on and just tell everybody, just be as calm as you can.
The lawsuit even includes supposed screenshots of those messages. One reportedly said, "You are the rose. No straight man would be walking with you unless he wanted to folks you, and I would folks you." Wild, right? Tyler's legal team came back swinging, calling it all fake, saying Derek's just trying to run an extortion scam and grab some cash. But Derek, he's not backing off. He says he felt cornered, like if he rejected Tyler too harshly, his whole career would vanish overnight. So instead of confronting it head on, he tried to play it cool. He'd say things like, "I'm not the sexual type," just to keep things from escalating. Deep down, he was terrified, scared of being blackballed in an industry where saying the wrong thing to the wrong person could shut every door. Now, this is where Katt Williams' warnings start hitting way harder. He's been saying it for years. If you go up against Hollywood's power players, they'll label you as crazy, just to shut you up. And guess what? He even said that's exactly what went down with Dave Chappelle. Remember when Dave walked away from that $50 million Comedy Central deal? He said he didn't want to be anyone's puppet. Instead of listening to the man, Oprah brought him on her show and made it seem like he was mentally spiraling. And when Dave sat there calmly and said no, the media had already spun the story, painting him like he'd lost it.
This person is a predator, and he's one of several. And I have proof. It's not like I'm just making false accusations. The receipts, the recordings, down to the police department, and let them hear this individual, the month and the year that he showed up to my apartment and offered me $100,000 to take my clothes off. He said, "I don't even need to touch you. I just want to see you naked." I declined. Because again, scenic route. I got my integrity with me. I'll take the long way around. I recorded it because I didn't trust him. And I had told him over and over. And he still always tried shit. So if people don't believe me, they can hear him. I can press play and you can hear the person and you'll know immediately who the person is that's offering me $100,000 to strip. You'll know right away and it'll break your heart.
But now people are wondering, was that $50 million tied to the same kind of pressure Derek claims Tyler Perry used on him? Because this isn't just about money, it's about control. And fast forward to today, folks are already questioning Derek's lawsuit. Instead of focusing on the details, they're going after his timing. Why now? Why drop all this heat just as Tyler Perry's new film Straw, starring Taraji P. Henson, is tearing up the charts and making headlines? Some are calling it a trap, a setup. They're saying it's a clout chase, a money grab, maybe even a PR takedown to knock Tyler from his throne. But again, that's exactly what Katt warned about. He said once you stand up to the real decision makers in Hollywood, the whole narrative flips. The victim becomes the villain. The one speaking out suddenly gets painted as the problem. And the media plays along like it's all part of the show. Tyler's trying to keep it cool, telling his fans to relax and not feed into the drama. But let's be real, nobody's laughing. People want answers, they want receipts, and Derek says he's got everything. Screenshots, messages, dates, and locations. And now that others are starting to talk too, the puzzle pieces are finally coming together, and it's not looking good. Let's talk about Christian Keys for a sec. He didn't name drop anyone, but in an older interview, he said a powerful figure in the industry tried to pressure him, tried to manipulate him into doing things he wasn't cool with. No names were said, but the internet did what it always does and started connecting the dots real fast. Christian was everywhere in Tyler Perry's productions for a while, and when you match up the timelines with who he worked under, everything starts pointing in one direction. And now, the internet's not staying quiet anymore. This whole story's still unfolding and it's getting louder. Even 50 Cent had to jump into the convo, and when he speaks, people listen. He posted a pic with Tyler Perry and threw up a caption that had folks shook. Did that dude just say what I think? Then added, nah, we ain't jacking this game. It was hyped up for sure, but it made one thing clear. 50's keeping his distance. Sure, he's shown love to Tyler in the past for how he handles the media game, but right now, the people ain't riding with that. The public's energy has shifted. Online sleuths are going all in, digging up old clips, screenshots, interviews, everything. One user said, do your research. Find out where Medea really came from. Another didn't hold back at all, writing, this ain't about tearing down a black man. This is karma. This is payback for the shady moves he's made. And just like Katt Williams warned, the truth always finds the light. Might not be today, might not be tomorrow, but eventually, all these Hollywood heavyweights are gonna get exposed, one story at a time. So now it's your turn. What do you think? Is this a long overdue reckoning or just another wild headline trying to stir up chaos? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button if you're locked in. Share this with someone who needs to see the real story because we're not done yet. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a drop. We've got more truth, more tea, and way more receipts coming your way. Catch you on the next one. Smash that like button if you're locked in. Share this with someone who needs to see the real story because we're not done yet. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a drop. We've got more truth, more tea, and way more receipts coming your way. Catch you on the next one. Coming your way. Catch you on the next one.